Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Steve Smith, founder of Thoughtful Technologies, and this is part two of my How Hard Could It Be series, where we're going to focus on the mock up portion of creating your own app. So, in part one, I talked about ideation and really didn't require any technology whatsoever there, other than a pencil and paper or an open document where you can do a brain dump of all of your ideas as it relates to your app and all of your thoughts that you have, and really just trying to get some idea of what it is that you're trying to get the app to do, the data that you want to create, the type of output you're trying to produce. Um, and so in step one, ideation, it's really just about getting your idea down somewhere. So in step two, which is what I did personally for when I created the Bluetivity app, I went ahead and found a tool. In this case, it's Balsamic, but there are many tools out in the marketplace where you can create pretty much like a mock up of all the screens for your app. For me, I found this to be invaluable, really, and it serves two purposes, really. So the first one is just starting to wrap your mind around, okay, so I'm going to develop an app. What is it going to look like? And really just kind of get you excited about moving forward with the second step of the process and really just starting to map out what all of your screens are going to look like and just getting a rough outline of what you're doing. It to me, it got me excited just because short of actually bringing it to life, this actually does kind of get close to you're starting to see a rough outline, and that's helps to encourage and fuel you along when the process starts to feel a little tedious. I found this to be kind of a fun exercise. So as you can see in the screen, there's a URL bar at the top, and you can put in kind of an idea of what you think the address will be, if you will. And then, in my particular case, um, again, these were early days. So creating the name of the product and tagline and some kind of login and a password and a login button. Uh, it just was kind of a cool thing for me to be like, all right, here we go. This is what it's going to look like. So, for the sake of this demonstration, I want to keep it super simple. As I mentioned, there are many different tools on the marketplace that'll help you facilitate this exercise, and you can pick one that's right for you. I believe there's some free ones out there. I think I know I paid a cost licensing fee for this one, um, but it was pretty nominal. And really kind of got me excited about, okay, this is what the app's going to look like. And part of that is, the twofold benefit again of this is really just starting to really bring your idea to life. And then the other thing is really having slides that in the event that you get down the road and you decide maybe this coding thing isn't for me, or maybe it's reaching a level of complexity that I'm not comfortable with, if you decide to ultimately hire some kind of an external vendor to do this for you, whether that be the front end, the back end, what have you, whatever parts you decide to outsource, certainly the front end is ultimately going to be very valuable in communicating to someone else what your vision is, right? So a picture is worth 1,000 words, but it's invaluable when you're handing over a blueprint to someone who's going to create your front end as to what that's supposed to look like. Um, for me personally, as I did the front end, the benefit of coding it myself was that I was able to take my blueprints and then evolve on them when I was developing the front end. And so my particular slide served as a purpose in terms of a starting point where I iterated and evolved and came up with additional ideas or better ideas as I went, where if you're going to give this to a developer, again, those are rules of the road. You're going to have to outline with them and say, okay, this is exactly what I want, or here's the starting point of what I want, and you feel free to take liberties and to evolve and improve upon those the slides that you present to them. So ultimately, that's your call. You're going to be able to have to make that call, but um, this portion of the exercise, this is absolutely something that I did when I created Bluetivity. I did the brain dump, and then above and beyond that, then this was step 2 for me, was go ahead and create the slides. One of the questions people may have is, how many slides do you need to create? And I think it's really as many as you're comfortable with, or as many as you want the app to look like. So for me, I created a number of slides in the hundreds, if not thousands. Once I got the hang of this slide creation, it wasn't terribly difficult, but for the app that I wanted to create, ultimately that's how many screens it is. So that's one of the things that's kind of eye-opening too. When you create an app, when you're doing these mock-ups, you'll see that depending on what your vision is, it could very well be a significant number of slides or templates, if you will, is what they call this. So the template is associated with the view, and then each particular screen is a template and a view. And so it really just helps to really start organizing your thoughts in a way that you can communicate them to a developer. And you're going to pay for that time one way or the other. You're going to either pay for it on the front end, drawing this all out, or worst case, you're going to pay for it on the back end when you're going through that development cycle and having to continually to iterate and get to ultimately what you want to do. So again, I just wanted to keep this part relatively short and sweet. I think that it makes sense for people to consider this particular aspect. The first part is ideation, as I mentioned, and now we've covered the mock-up piece. And so in the next session or episode rather, of How Hard Could It Be, now we'll start talking about coding and everything that entails with that, and we'll get into that. But for now, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments if there's other questions you have. I can try to answer those questions in the comments. But then we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.